Hello guys, welcome back to my channel and enjoy this fanfic part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. If it weren't for me being named Hokage and the relationships that he has with the other Kage, you would have been locked up for a long time. Regardless, I expect you to behave out there. The words held an underlying threat, and it wasn't because he was sure of his own skills against his wayward student. No, there was only one person who could stop her if it came down to it. Yeah, thanks, Kakashi. Hitaki Kakashi sighed dramatically at the lack of respect she continued to show him. Ever since she was young, she never addressed him as sensei, or as a superior. He felt a gentle pat on his back and lazily inclined his head towards his more respectful student. She'll be alright, Hokage-sama. Sakura paused to giggle at Kakashi's deadpan stare. Right, Sasuke-chan. Her giggles only continued when she noticed the subtle twitch of her teammate's eyebrow. She hated the attached suffix to her name but didn't speak up. I hope so. Kakashi looked the girl over quickly. Her traveling cloak practically concealed her whole form and dark bangs covered an eye that was capable of unfathomable power. Her face hardly revealed any emotion, although it was a far better look for her than borderline insanity or despair that Kakashi had seen on it in the past. I'm leaving. Sasuke turned to stare at the forested area outside of the village. Sakura hummed to herself before stepping forward with her hands clasped behind her back. You at goodbyes. You always did. Tsunade's student admonished her with a big smile. You're not even going to wait for. No. Sakura giggled again. Uchiha Sasuke hated giggling, especially Sakura's. She narrowed her uncovered obsidian eye at her amused teammate. From when they were young, the medical ninja looked up to her to an obsessive degree. However, that changed after certain circumstances and now Sakura made it her personal mission to mess with the Uchiha. Sakura stopped her laughter and put on a serious face. What about? She motioned to the left side of Sasuke's body and frowned. I don't want it. Sasuke's tone was clipped and Sakura was reminded once more of her unique voice. It wasn't very girly, but it certainly wasn't manly. It fit her just right. The operation doesn't take much time. He's getting used to it so quickly too. Sakura attempted to persuade her. That's not why I don't want the arm. She did not feel the need to explain her reasoning to Sakura. But Naruto is here. A figure dropped down between the three shinobi with a crash. He quickly rose from his crouched position and aimed a bright pearly white grin at everyone. Blue eyes sparkled happily when he saw his team. His family. I have to admit, not your best entrance. Kakashi smiled under his mask at Naruto's deflated look. I didn't have much time to prepare, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto scratched at his newly shortened spiky hair. Jiraiya-sama was a master of entrances, you better work on it. Kakashi reminded him of his deceased teacher's eccentric personality. You're right. Even if he always announced he was a pervert. Seriously, wouldn't you want to keep that a secret? It was a classic power move. It was dumb. No. See what he was doing was. Sakura squinted her eyes in annoyance at the conversation going down between the Hokage and her best friend. As she marched over to Naruto, she had to reach up to grab the collar of his black long-sleeved shirt. She admired his new appearance for a moment and noted that his growth spurt did wonders for him. You both can argue about power moves later. Sasuke is attempting to leave with such a crappy goodbye. Sakura watched Naruto blink at her for a moment before his face became comically angry. She's at goodbyes. I know. Due to his entrance and commotion, nobody noticed the Uchiha sneaking away. Sasuke's footsteps were hurried when she heard Naruto's loud voice. Only a little farther and I can use my Rinnegan. Beneath her long bangs, the purple ringed dojutsu widened. What kinda teammate are you? Sasuke froze when two strong arms wrapped around her midriff tightly. 2 arms. She glanced down and saw the white bandages attached to Naruto's right arm. The arm she took from him. She tried to squash down the feelings of regret before stating her demand. Release me. Her Sharingan spun into existence. Now. Her captor became quiet before letting out a loud laugh. Nope. With one word, Naruto lifted her and held her close to him before walking back over to his team. Sasuke tried struggling in his grip, but something stopped her. It wasn't his psychical strength. No, it was something else. The reason she didn't want to see him before leaving. Uchiha retrieval mission is a success, again. Naruto gave a mock report when he presented Sasuke to the pair of shinobi. Good job, Genin Uzumaki. Kakashi shot him a thumbs up and Naruto pouted. Genin Uchiha has been brought back safely. Imagine still being a genin. Sakura couldn't help herself as she teased the pair. She missed this. She missed her team being complete. Even if one was leaving again, at least she had Naruto. Annoying. Now it was Sakura's turn to pout. That specific insult from Sasuke always triggered Sakura. Alright, enough joking around. Kakashi stepped up to them. Naruto, we were saying our goodbyes to Sasuke for the time being. The former Sharingan bearer observed how Naruto released the girl, but she remained glued to his side. That's exactly why I'm here. Naruto paused for dramatic effect, and Sasuke stared up at him with feigned disinterest. I'm going with her. That proclamation stunned the entire group, even Kakashi. Quote. What? Excuse me, who gave you clearance for that? Kakashi knew it wasn't him. Well, since I'm studying political discourse and relations between the villages, one grumpy old lady told me the best way to learn is to see other Kage in action. Naruto explained with a carefree grin. He mentally patted himself on the back for the use of the word, discourse. Tsunade. Kakashi should have expected this. She may care for the village due to Naruto, but she enjoyed wandering around in her free time. No wonder she supported Naruto leaving. You got it. Naruto threw an arm around Sasuke's shoulder. The shorter girl tensed and pushed his arm away. This is my journey, Naruto. You have nothing to do with my sins, so don't get involved and stay away. That was the most anyone's heard her speak all day, and Naruto narrowed his gaze at her. There you go again with all this talk about doing things on your own. That's because this is for me. She finally rose her voice. Oh yeah, you're just going to walk around with no goal. I'm going to atone for my sins. Where are you doing that exactly? You think every village is going to welcome you with open arms and hugs? Naruto questioned her. Sasuke grit her teeth and glared at him. If I'm with you, we can travel around and visit everyone. You can help people. He tried to reason with her. I never said I was going to help people. How else will you atone for your sins? I'm shocked you even know what the word atone means. Kakashi watched blankly. I have a strong feeling that they'll end up together. He thought to himself. Break it up, you two. Seriously, people are staring. Sakura stepped between the pair and placed her hands on their chests to push them back. They did attract an audience who observed the dysfunctional scene taking place. Remove your hand from my chest. Sakura pulled her hand away from Sasuke at the speed of the yellow flash. She did not mean to grab her. You can keep your hand on mine, Sakura-chan. Naruto told the girl he had a crush on all those years ago. Remove your hand from the idiot. Sasuke demanded. Jealous. Naruto questioned her with a small smirk. No, I need a spot to run my Chidori through. Again. Okay, my cute little shinobi, I'll sort this out right now. Kakashi intervened for what was hopefully the final time. You already told me I can leave the village, Kakashi. Alone. Sasuke was clearly annoyed. Yes, I did. I understand that you're doing this to better yourself and to take care of any outside threats. Naruto is right though, the other villages aren't going to be keen on letting you enter due to your past actions. His presence would change that. I don't imagine roaming the elemental nations aimlessly will really help you change anything in the end. Finished with Sasuke, Kakashi turned to the blonde shinobi. Naruto, Tsunade may have given you this idea, but you should have come to me first. You are by far the strongest in the village, and not having you here is a risk. The war is over though, Kakashi-sensei. There isn't any more conflict. Naruto, ever the optimist, responded. I know you're not that naive, Naruto, and that's only true for now. Conflict can always rise up again. This time of peace and you gaining experience are the only reasons I'll allow this. Not to mention, you'll both be leaving poor Sakura behind. Sakura-chan can come with us too. Naruto told him immediately. Sasuke's hand clenched under her cloak. She did not want that. She is the new head of the hospital, she can't leave because of her duties. Kakashi shot that down quickly. Sakura nodded sadly in agreement. I took over for Tsunade-sama and Shizune-san, I can't go. She did want to spend more time with her teammates though. Her face flushed when Naruto's arms wrapped around her and pulled her close. Sakura-chan, I can sneak you out of the village if you really wanna come. I'll seal you in a scroll or something. Naruto whispered in her ear with a chuckle. Sakura hit him playfully and rolled her eyes. He was such a dork, but she loved him for it. It's alright, dummy. It does bother me that you're both leaving after our team finally reunited, but at least you'll be with her. To keep her under control, you know. She pulled back from the hug and placed herself next to Kakashi. I heard that. I don't need to be under your control, Naruto. Sasuke snidely remarked. She didn't mean it like that. How did she mean it? Since you know Sakura so well. Huh, what's that supposed to mean? Okay, you're both leaving now. Have a nice trip. Kakashi roughly pushed the two towards the large village gates before they could start another verbal spar. I don't want him to come with me. This is my journey. Sasuke tried to argue with the Hokage. Hold on to that thought for just a second. Kakashi successfully pushed them outside of the village gates as they turned to him. To their surprise, the Kakashi that was pushing them exploded into smoke. Naruto instantly recognized the technique. Kage Bunshin. Naruto wondered aloud. When did he make a clone? Be safe, my adorable students. Use protection. We love you. Kakashi yelled while he and Sakura waved goodbye. The mighty gates of Konohagakure shut with a loud slam. Naruto stared in disbelief at the action of his teacher turned Hokage. Sure, he can easily jump over the massive gate, but the fact that he shut it on them was disrespectful. Kakashi-sensei. You bastard. What the hell do you mean about protection anyway? Naruto yelled at the silent gate. Bristling in annoyance, he called out to his teammate. Can you believe it, Sasuke? There was no response. Sasuke. He whipped around in an instant and saw the cloaked form of Sasuke rushing ahead. Hey, the last Uchiha moved even faster. I spy, with my little eye, something blue. I'm not playing. I already told you that. I'm not even talking to you. Mind your business. Sasuke threw a dry look at the one person who understood her the most. He was also the one who annoyed her the most. Sakura did not come close. What? Do you have an imaginary friend? She tried to taunt him. No. He nudged her roughly with his arm, almost throwing off her balance. She was still getting used to missing an arm. For your information, I have the world's best teammate inside me. Naruto slammed an open palm onto his stomach. Flattery doesn't mean I want to continue playing this childish game. His lifetime partner commented from inside the seal. Kurama, come on. Sasuke is in a bad mood, and I'm dying for some conversation here. Naruto pleaded with the Kyuubi. The Uchiha is always in a bad mood. Since the day you met her she's been like this. TCH, I'll never understand why you're attracted to her. Attracted to her? Naruto blinked rapidly to quite literally get out of his own head before glancing at his best friend turned traitor, turned best friend again. What are you looking at, loser? She rose a delicate eyebrow at him. I spy with my little eye, something small and filled with angst. Naruto's cheeky smile set her off. I'm shocked you know what a word like angst means. Did they finally let you have a dictionary? She smirked and his smile fell. Yeah, well at least I'm not short like you. Look how tiny you are. I'd feel pity if you were still shorter than me. Don't forget that you were the shortest in our class. Everyone grows differently. Within the seal, Kurama laid down in the murky ankle-deep water below. Their bickering was something the tailed beast would need to get used to, which was probably impossible. Kurama would never approve of Naruto's attraction towards an Uchiha of all things. The Uchiha clan weren't worth a thing to the chakra beast. And Iruka-sensei said girls might not even develop in some areas. I mean, you definitely did with your bow. Finish that sentence and you'll lose that arm again. No one has ever gotten under her skin like Uzumaki Naruto. I won't let you get the chance. I'll kick your tiny all over the elemental nations. Sasuke's hand twitched. The sound of chirping birds filled the empty road leading away from their village. Oh my, this is a welcome surprise. 2 of my favorite shinobi came to visit me, how sweet. A voice that Naruto would never enjoy hearing spoke from behind a large desk. You look very dashing with the new hairstyle, Naruto-kun. Really? You'd be surprised how many people don't even comment on it. I wanted to go for something different, you know. Hey, wait a minute, I still don't like you, Orochimaru. Naruto's grin disappeared instantly when he remembered the actions that this man, woman, snake person, took against the village and the Sandaime Hokage. Seriously, it was hard to know what Orochimaru identified as nowadays. That's a shame. You are the one responsible for changing the direction of Sasuke-chan's wind. My curiosity when it comes to your special abilities is boundless. Orochimaru stood up and approached the duo. His general appearance didn't look too different from usual, but something was off. Her wind. She can use wind. Orochimaru. Sasuke cut in. Naruto was a fool. I require information. Her tone was rougher than usual. She despised dealing with Orochimaru, but he was a necessary evil. My Sasuke-chan is as cold as ever. I'm surprised you even came to visit. With Tenzo watching my every movement, I didn't expect any other Konoha residents around here. I told you not to talk about her like she's yours, Orochimaru. Naruto glared at the criminal with disgust. Orochimaru chuckled before placing his hands up in a placating manner. My apologies, Naruto-kun, how could I ever forget that she belongs to you? You've made that abundantly clear in the past. The snake user took some strange joy in seeing the small blushes on their faces. That's not what I meant. Naruto rubbed the back of his head in embarrassment. Orochimaru, I need whatever intel you have pertaining to villages all over the elemental nations. I know you keep records on their potential weaknesses and ongoing issues. Sasuke practically demanded, and her Sharingan flashed at her former master. She was glad Naruto didn't notice the slight red hue of her cheeks. What do you intend to do with this information? Sabotage. Systematic destruction. The possibilities are endless for an individual as strong as you. Orochimaru's lips twitched upwards at the angered look Naruto sent his way. It was too easy to rile him up. No, not even close. I didn't even want to come to you for this, but I followed Sasuke. We are going to use this information to help people. Naruto explained quickly, horrified at the idea of harming other villages and innocent people. Help people? Orochimaru looked to the Uchiha woman incredulously. Forgive me, is this one of Naruto-kun's jokes? He questioned her. Orochimaru. No, that's what we plan to do. Sasuke struggled to stress the we in that statement. May I ask why? His beady eyes sought for answers on her blank face. Sasuke is on a journey of atonement. It's not something you'd understand. Naruto managed to sneak an insult in there towards the snake summoner. I suppose you're right. Orochimaru kept his gaze on Sasuke. Her poker face didn't budge. Well, if it's for such a noble cause, I can't deny you. I have to admit, I'm curious as to where this atonement will take you. So am I, she muttered under her breath. Naruto threw an arm over her shoulder and pulled her close. Sasuke, who was still not used to that kind of casual physical contact, tensed slightly. It feels good to help people, you'll see, Sasuke. He gave her his signature closed-eye grin, one that made her avert her gaze. She couldn't stand him. He made her heart flutter. Orochimaru observed them with a hidden look of appraisal. He knew of their history. Friends turned to bitter rivals and then into true enemies for a brief time. Whatever amount of hostility existed in the past when Sasuke heard about Naruto was all but gone now. They understood each other on a level that few could relate to. He didn't necessarily care about the sappy connotations of their relationship. He was a scientist after all, and a damn good one. His glee for potentially witnessing a child born from the union of two powerhouses was unrivaled. The sun and moon coming together was rare after all. We have to go visit Gaara first. He'd definitely want to see us. This is my journey. She repeated that for what felt like the 100th time. I need the experience and Gaara as a cage. I don't care about your cage experience. My journey comes first, loser. Big words from a tiny girl like you. Quote. The room sparked with electricity. Sasuke hated sand. It was rough, coarse, irritating, and it managed to get everywhere. She glared ahead at the sandy dunes that led to Gaara's village. Phew. I forgot just how hot it gets around here. Naruto spoke from her side. Sasuke resisted the urge to roll her special Uchiha eyes at such a comment. It was the desert. What the hell did he expect? You doing okay? How are you not dying from the heat with that long cloak covering you? He questioned her heavy clothing. I'm used to the heat because you're an Uchiha. Yeah, I heard that one a bunch of times. HMPH. She fumed very quietly at him, interrupting her small spiel. Old habits die hard after all. Placing his hands behind his head, Naruto strolled through the endless sand with little issue aside from the sun beating down on them. He looked at Sasuke from the corner of his eye. Something bugged him about her recent outfit change. After she defected from the village and he met up with her years later in a failed attempt to bring her home, the one thing that always managed to catch his attention was her attire. For perfectly innocent reasons, of course. This older Sasuke was a lot more covered up. You're not subtle at all, idiot. Naruto almost jumped at her voice. It effectively stopped him from thinking about his best friend in more revealing clothes. Disgusting. Shut up, Kurama. Naruto spoke aloud. The tailed beast snorted in response. Ah, arguing with the voice inside your head again. Sasuke let a smirk tug at her lips. Going back and forth with Naruto was as easy as breathing. Tell the Uchiha vermin that I hate her. Kurama says hello. Sasuke's eyebrows rose slightly in surprise. She knew for a fact that the Kyuubi did not like her, and for good reason. Tell her what I really said. Oh, and while you're at it, tell her about how you're thinking about her phase of wearing those open shirts. I am not thinking about her chest. Luckily he spoke through their internal connection. I never mentioned her chest. Kurama's retort made Naruto's cheeks light up. What did the Kyuubi say now? Sasuke immediately noticed the red tint on his face. It wasn't from the heat, she would have noticed that before. Not that she was staring at his face, she was only observing the environment. Nothing. Nothing at all. Naruto's smile was strained, and if she were Sakura or Kakashi, she may have been fooled. You don't see into someone's heart and memories without picking up on their poor ability to lie. Sasuke knew Naruto better than anybody else. You're lying. I can go ask the fox myself. Her Sharingan activated and Naruto closed his eyes tightly. Hey, that's totally not fair. I don't even know how you're able to get into my seal. Nothing is impossible for the Uchiha. I've heard that one too. The mockery continued. She grabbed his arm, stopping him in the sandy tracks. Look into my eyes. Now. No. Do it. She squeezed his arm with a chakra-enhanced hand. Keep your freaky Uchiha eyes away from me. Naruto slipped out of her grip and quickened his pace towards the village led by one of his closest friends. My eyes are not freaky. Your brother shoved a damn crow down my throat using those eyes. That is freaky to me. Naruto channeled chakra to his legs and took off in a sprint. Sasuke stood dumbfounded at the mention of Itachi. He did what with a crow? She did not remember that from Naruto's memories at all. Why was her brother putting a crow down her idiot's throat? Naruto, get back here. Sasuke allowed her emotions to get the better of her while she chased after the man. Naruto said nothing. He only activated his Kurama chakra mode as he felt the familiar Susanoo form behind him. Sunagaku's cage stood from his desk with wide eyes. His ability to sense chakra was not one that he put much stock in, but the ridiculous amount he felt approaching his home could be felt by pretty much any shinobi. It could also be summed up in 2 words. Uzumaki Naruto. A smile bloomed on Gaara's face when he realized who was stopping by for a visit. It's been some time since he's seen his friend and future fellow Kage. It only took a few seconds for his office door to swing open as his siblings barged in. Gaara, tell me you feel that? Kankuro asked him quickly. Temari stood to the side with a thoughtful expression. Yes, I did. I believe we are going to have a visitor in our village. Will you two join me at the entrance? They nodded easily at the request. Sometimes his siblings still marveled at the change in Gaara after one specific individual connected with him. Someone they owed a lot to for fixing their family. It's him, right Gaara? Temari questioned with a small chuckle. Nobody else could throw around that much chakra, and if it was an enemy they wouldn't foolishly reveal their location like that. Of course. Maybe he intends to show off that new arm of his. Gaara motioned towards his siblings to follow him. Kankuro scoffed at his brother's words, but not because he felt he was wrong. He wouldn't have to do that if the Uchiha didn't decide to throw his friendship back in his face and fight him. The puppet user cared little for the member of the cursed clan. Naruto and Sasuke have a complex relationship. Temari explained to her judgmental brother, although she couldn't fault him for thinking the way he does. She had her own opinion on those two. Oh yeah, how do you know? Smirking at his sister, Temari refused to show embarrassment in front of her family. I visit Konohagakure a lot. Shikamaru must keep you busy, huh? Kankuro snickered at her. I'm sure your hand must work wonders for you, Kankuro. Gaara continued to smile as he heard his older brother's indignant shout. He wouldn't trade the strong bonds he had now with his family for anything. Less than 5 minutes passed before they reached the entrance to the sand-filled village. Gaara squinted his eyes as a golden figure raced towards his location. Gaara, the chakra cloak that blazed brighter than the sun, called out to the cage. Right before Naruto in all his glory could blitz towards the once-upon-a-time fellow Jinchuriki, a gigantic shadow dropped down onto him carelessly. Gaara ignored Kankuro's quick warning to prepare for a battle. Uchiha Sasuke practically straddled the hero of the elemental nations, and some can argue the scene could be considered weirdly romantic. If it weren't for the titanic armored warrior pressing its weight down onto Naruto while Sasuke glared at him from within. I told you not to run. Sasuke told him darkly. Temari and Kankuro felt a shiver run down their spines from her voice. Using your Rinnegan is cheating. You can literally switch places with sand grains. That is so bullshit. Naruto complained from his position under the Susanoo. Large golden chakra arms held the construct of the Uchiha clan from crushing him, and everyone could see that he was not struggling. That's precisely why Gaara wasn't worried. He was well aware that these two were playing around. Naruto and Sasuke were connected for life, and he did not believe they would harm each other again. What the air they? Kankuro watched with a bewildered expression. I told you. Temari shrugged as the Uzumaki and Uchiha bickered like children while using some of the strongest techniques in the world. They have a complex relationship. Complex was an understatement to Kankuro. You wish to watch over my day-to-day operations? Gaara questioned the one who shared his pain. If that's okay with you. I do need the experience when it comes to being in an office and managing things. I was never really good at that kind of stuff. Naruto sheepishly rubbed the back of his head. A small smirk appeared on Sasuke's face when she thought of an insult to use against him. She had to hold back a small yelp when Naruto pinched her roughly on her upper back. Her Sharingan-enhanced glare was venomous as she turned to him. Gaara's siblings wondered if she'd use those unyielding black flames on the man. Fortunately, the cage spoke before another fight could break out. I'm sure I can spare some time to assist my friend. Gaara noticed the way Naruto immediately brightened up. Now, why has Sasuke accompanied you? He addressed the former rogue ninja. Naruto nudged her to speak for herself and the woman locked eyes with the cage. The same cage she would have had no qualms with killing if it weren't for Naruto. I want to help out within the village. If the Uchiha clan weren't experts when it came to putting on a poker face, Sasuke would look like she just ate the most sour in the world. Ha ha ha. Kankuro laughed mockingly. The puppet user expected more laughter to join him, but instead he felt the judging stares descend on him. Temari studied Sasuke closely, trying to make sense of her words. Elaborate. Gaara needed to understand the situation a bit better too, even if he already put two and two together. Naruto truly changed her, just as he did for various others. What a terrifying power. Sasuke sighed to herself and was glad Naruto's warm presence stood close to her. Opening up about her intentions to anyone but him was not an easy task, nor was it one she wanted to do. She kept those thoughts to herself, as she always did. Gaara, I've made mistakes and now I plan to correct them. I wanted to do this my own way but Naruto forced himself into it. She mentally added that Naruto's forced his way into her life on many occasions. All to help save her from herself. He has a strange ability, does he not? Gaara didn't break eye contact with the Uchiha, even while he spoke about Naruto. Kurama's host scrunched up his face in confusion. When that light is nearby, darkness stands no chance. His words were directed at the woman who he felt he shared a bond with, although she didn't feel the same. She only wanted a bond with one person. You're right. Her reply was delivered softly and Naruto's gaze shifted over to her. Very well. You may stay here and help the populace while Naruto studies. That earned a loud groan from the whisker-marked shinobi. Studying Ed. Temari should be able to point you in the direction of such things. I must give you a fair warning though. Gaara locked his fingers in front of his face, looking so much like an experienced cage in that moment. There are many who have heard of your deeds despite helping in the war, and not all will take kindly to your presence. He felt it was extremely important to mention. Before Naruto could defend Sasuke to any degree, she sent him a hidden look that shut him up. I understand. Her blank face betrayed nothing. Good. Now before we get started on anything. Naruto, how is that new appendage treating you? Gaara was very curious about the synthetic arm created using cells from the Shadaime Hokage. Oh, it's great actually. Flexing his new arm, he presented it to the group and let his chakra leak out. A controlled sphere of chakra appeared and Naruto wisely chose not to go overboard and mess up the organized office. I'm still getting used to the bandages being there, but using my chakra is like second nature. Sasuke felt her heart tighten when she laid eyes on the artificial arm. I am happy for you, my friend. Gaara sent a pointed look at his brother who was no doubt prepared to blame Sasuke for something. Now was not the time for that. Thanks. Kurama wanted me to tell you that you look like less of a brat now. Naruto paused and hummed to himself. That's a compliment by the way. The red-haired cage chuckled at the words from the beast. That means a lot. It's decided then, you both will be staying in the cage estate with me. Standing from his desk, Gaara nodded to Temari who moved closer to Sasuke. Naruto, let us begin immediately. We need to make you Hokage quickly so we can share that drink, yes. Gaara reminded him of their promise during the war. Naruto gave him a cheesy thumbs up. Let's do this. Sasuke didn't think much of the wind user when she approached her. She's never cared for many people and Temari was no exception. The sister of the cage certainly wasn't thrilled at being with her either. Uchiha-san, I believe the orphanage was in need of help after a request came through this morning. Would you like to accompany me to settle the issue? Temari wasn't an overtly friendly person, so she stuck with a more formal way of speaking. She also remembered how the younger girl attacked the 5-cage summit while hell-bent on revenge. The look of madness on her face was hard to forget. That's fine. Sasuke answered dryly. This way of atonement was different from what she had in mind originally. Stupid Naruto. Speaking of the hero, She saw him smile at her in a proud way. Walking out of the office, Tamari turned to the redeemed Avenger and said one final thing. He's done so much for my family. You better not hurt him. Sasuke felt that she should have laughed in her face. A pathetic Suna shinobi threatened her. That was ridiculous. Although, that feeling of superiority disappeared quickly. It's too late anyway. I've already hurt him plenty of times. Naruto groaned and rubbed his aching wrist as he walked down the mellow streets of Sunagaku. Night was approaching and Gaara really stuck to his word of getting him ready for cage duties. Did he really have to make me practice signing my name so many times? My damn hand hurts. At least your penmanship doesn't look like a brainless monkey started writing on paper anymore. Like you can do any better. Naruto huffed as he passed villagers who were heading home before the cold desert winds blew in. I am a mass of chakra. Writing is worthless for me. Whatever. Naruto kicked at the sand by his feet. Spare some chakra to soothe my wrists, will ya? Kurama yawned at the request. Don't be such a baby. Pain builds character, you know that more than anyone. Naruto pouted at being denied. You're one strict bastard, you know. He couldn't see it, but he knew Kurama took pride in that description. One female Madara approaching. Naruto deadpanned at the warning before seeing his teammate walking towards him slowly. Raising his bandaged hand, he waved at her. Sasuke's face looked more emotionless than usual, which concerned him. Yo, how was helping Tamari at the orphanage? He hoped she was able to do some good there. Fine. Her answer was practically robotic. Naruto's smile dropped. Sasuke. Naruto, I said it was fine. She moved past him without another word. She would have gotten away too, if she was dealing with somebody that wasn't named Uzumaki Naruto. Don't try to do everything on your own. Don't try to hide your problems. Naruto repeated the words to her that he shared when they were laying half dead in the middle of a broken valley. Anger began to fill Sasuke, none of it directed at Naruto. No, her anger had a different target. Herself. Did Tamari say something? Did she try to attack you? Naruto placed himself in her personal space. He grabbed her shoulders gently, his serious concern invoked feelings in her that she would prefer to keep hidden. She did not even correct him on even suggesting she could be harmed by Tamari. No, it wasn't Tamari. Sasuke wanted to kick herself for revealing that there was in fact an issue. Who? The orphanage. The villagers. He was so close to her that she could feel his breath tickling her nose. No. Listen, Naruto. I can't do this. She took a step back, staring at him with hesitation. Her best friend tilted his head. You don't need to help at an orphanage. Gaara can definitely find you something different. Naruto reassured her. That's not it. Closing her eyes to calm her increasing heart rate, she spoke up. Helping others and playing nice. I'm not you. I can't do this. My journey was to atone, but I'm more confused than ever before. I don't even know what I want. Here she goes again, opening up to her annoyingly warm idiot. A soft poke to her forehead almost stopped her heart. You've always been pretty stupid, you know. A lone obsidian eye met with bright blues. You've helped others before. Without you forming a bond with me all those years ago, well, I don't know where I'd be right now. So don't give up because it's new for you, never give up. Besides well, you know, he began rambling. A trait he inherited from his mother. What? The anger towards herself started to subside, she hung on to his words like a prayer. Naruto mulled over his next words before blurting them out. Sasuke is Sasuke. He shrugged pitifully at his poorly worded sentence. A crack appeared in her cold facial expression. Aha, I made ya smile. Naruto pointed out loudly. The streets were now clear and neither cared to notice. I'm smiling at your stupidity. The upwards pull of her lips contradicted her words. Liar. Now come on. Let's go grab some food and you can tell me about the orphanage thing. Oh, I have to tell you about what Gaara made me do. Can you believe I had to write my name over 200 times? 200. Naruto dragged her along the streets of Sunagaku. Sasuke let herself be pulled along, by both his hand and his words. Sasuke is Sasuke, what an idiotic thing to say. She looked up as they walked, seeing his dumb face retelling the events from hours ago. Yes, Naruto would always be an idiot to Sasuke. But he was the only idiot she'd ever care about. Then Sarah threw the ball to the mean man's house and she was so scared to get it. Not me though. I'm going to be a shinobi, and shinobi don't get scared. Long brown hair swayed as a young and very small girl proudly retold her side of the story from earlier in the day. The girl was an orphan, her parents deceased from when she was only 3 years old. Sasuke stood quietly while she listened to the excited child. Minori was her name, and she immediately latched onto Sasuke after the Uchiha volunteered to help at the orphanage. She tensed when the girl jumped towards her and wrapped her thin arms around her leg. Looking down, Sasuke waited for the girl to explain herself before she would promptly remove her. Sasu-chan. That's another thing. She's only known her for what was at most 2 days and the girl already nicknamed her. Nicknames like that were something Sasuke only accepted from 3 people, and 2 were dead. She's only a child. She reined in whatever annoyance she was feeling at dealing with such a loud kid. Honestly, it reminded her of Naruto before he figured out how to be patient. Which he still was awful at in her esteemed opinion. Sasu-chan. The shrill whine from the girl forced Sasuke from her thoughts and her mismatched eyes sought out plain brown ones that radiated happiness. What do you want now? Tamari left her alone to settle a couple financial issues. The owner of the orphanage was a real piece of work, judging by the glare she aimed at Sasuke the entire time. You're a shinobi, right? You have to be since you know Tamari-chan. Can you teach me something? Please, please. Minori gripped the fabric of Sasuke's pants tightly, not wanting to let go until she got the answer she wanted. No, unless you were blonde with dumb whisker-like markings, it took a fair amount of effort to get more words out of her. Minori instantly had tears come to her eyes, which happened so fast that Sasuke could swear they were faked. Please, the sad voice and defeated expression would have crushed her teammate in a heartbeat. You're too young. Her reasoning was based on her judging Minori's appearance. Sasuke wasn't necessarily tall in her youth, but this girl barely came up to her hips. I'm not. I'm going to be 7 years old. The orphan held her fingers up to Sasuke dramatically, displaying the digits of her age. All around the room, orphans watched hesitantly. The children were scared of Sasuke's presence and she made no effort to correct that. However, Minori either didn't notice or care. Too young. It was contradictory in a way considering she bothered her late brother to train her ever since she could understand the basics of what being a shinobi was. Minori shook her head with a big pout. Nah, I want to be strong like. She scrunched her face up cutely and Sasuke expected many different names to come out. Almost all related to Suna Shinobi or the Kazekage. Uzumaki Naruto, the superhero. Minori declared with a gigantic grin. The second his name left her lips, the orphans all began their own conversations about Naruto. Kazekage-sama says they are best friends. I heard he turns into a big fox. My brother says he can fly. No way. Awesome. Sasuke let her gaze sweep around the room as the children gave her best friend such high praise. Either Gaara spoke of Naruto often, or Suna Shinobi spread tales of Naruto's feats in combat. A superhero, huh? A smile threatened to appear when she thought of him. That was cute. Minori tugged on her pant leg once more. Sasu-chan, are you a Suna Shinobi? You don't have a headband on, Minori pointed out and was worried that the girl wasn't truly a shinobi. I belong to a different village. Being owned by Konoha left a sour taste in her mouth, even to this day. If it weren't for Team 7 and her brother's actions, she wouldn't have any ties to that village anymore. Ooh. The orphaned girl trailed off, understanding it now. Some others moved closer as they heard of her admittance to being a shinobi. Where are you from? Brown doe eyes shined with curiosity. Sasuke internally debated with herself over continuing the conversation before sighing deeply. Konohagakure. If the orphans were scared before, that disappeared upon hearing the village's name. That's where he's from. The other children began to shout once more. Do you know Uzumaki Naruto? Minori stared up at her in obvious awe, expecting her to know about the hero who even Suna Shinobi complimented. Sasuke wasn't sure what made her speak. Years ago she would have felt the insufferable burn of inferiority over hearing about Naruto's accomplishments and strength. Now, he's my teammate and friend. All hell broke loose when all the orphans jumped into her personal space in a heartbeat. She was going to stab Naruto for this one. You know, I feel like Sasuke wants to stab me right about now. Naruto spoke as he walked with Gaara down the sandy paths of the village. It wouldn't be the first time. The response from Gaara left Naruto slack-jawed. When did you start making jokes? Naruto glared at him with no real intensity. Gaara let out a small chuckle before nodding respectfully at any citizens or shinobi they passed by. You're an easy target. Gaara poked fun at the now comically sad Naruto. Blah. You should show more respect to a future Kage. Naruto turned his head upwards in an overt display of being smug. You should show more respect to a current Kage. The mirth in his voice was easily picked up. Naruto gave his own joyful laugh before he clasped his hand on Gaara's shoulder. You've changed so much, Gaara. It was a genuine compliment. The killing machine from the sand was no more. All that remained was a true Kage. Yes, I wonder why that is. Gaara shot him a knowing look. Hey now, all I had to do was knock some sense into you with my fists, my head. Naruto downplayed his impact involving Gaara's current outlook on life. Indeed, I suppose that's all you did. Now let us continue on, I'd like to check on the orphanage and Tamari. Gaara told him and they picked up their pace slightly. The Kage decided to bring Naruto along to various establishments around his village that he visited every now and then. Being a Kage was more than sitting behind a desk and doing paperwork. Appearances and showing genuine care for the population was essential. Naruto needed more experience in how to conduct himself in different settings. While Gaara knew his friend was second to none when it came to giving speeches and igniting fire in people, he was still his usual hyperactive self in most circumstances. Sasuke should still be there with your sister, right? Naruto questioned as they got closer to the location. I'd assume so. How is Sasuke reacting to helping in such a way? He wanted to know how the previous Avenger was doing in that regard. She's well, Sasuke. She'll get used to it and helping others eventually. She's just so stubborn, you know. I've never met someone as stubborn as her. Naruto complained about his teammate. Gaara closed his eyes with his smile ever present. I think the phrase is, a match made in heaven. His words only made Naruto confused. Like a match you use to start a fire. What's that gotta do with anything? Naruto's confused expression spoke volumes about how dense he was. Never mind that. We're here. Gaara gestured to the large brown building. Getting to the door, Naruto opened it dramatically for the Kage. He made an exaggerated showing with his usual Naruto flair. Upon entering they weren't greeted by anyone, showing that Tamari must still be conducting her business with the owner. Why are they so loud? Naruto muttered as he heard the children making so much noise. Gaara was equally as confused. The pair walked into the main room that housed the orphans while they played. Better take a mental picture of this. She's going to kill you for it. Kurama's comment was not entirely false. The Avenger of the Uchiha clan sat cross-legged on the floor. Children pulled on her cloak and pants and threw out question after question. Two different colored eyes regarded them dully. She wasn't even able to get a word out with all the shouting. Naruto burst into laughter. He couldn't help himself. Sasuke, through all the loud squeaky voices, was able to make out the laugh that she became accustomed to hearing. Luckily, the children heard the laughter too and went silent as the two newcomers entered. They all became shocked at the appearance of their Kage, but the tall blonde with whiskered cheeks next to him left them frozen. As that, a small boy muttered as he slowly figured out who the person was based on previous descriptions all over the village. Uzumaki Naruto. In only a few seconds, they abandoned Sasuke and bolted towards the future Hokage. Naruto couldn't even warn them to stop before they dogpiled him. Knocked onto his back, Naruto could only stare up at Gaara's amused eyes. Sasuke's smirk was displayed fully now. She felt that Naruto deserved this. She blinked when realizing someone still held onto her leg. Minori. She questioned the formerly hyper child. The girl was locked in place at the sight of Naruto. Seeing her idol in person must have sent her into shock. Sasuke was about to remove her when she spoke up. Sasu-chan. Can I, meet him? Quite frankly, Sasuke was surprised that Minori didn't jump on Naruto like the other children. I guess so. Sasuke attempted to stand up before blankly looking down at her. Off. Now. Minori complied and stood along with the Uchiha. She still held a grip on the cloak that covered Sasuke. Children, please allow my friend to get up so he can properly speak with you all. Gaara's voice wasn't raised or aggressive, but it did the trick in making the children listen. Naruto mouthed a silent, "Thank you," at the red head. Getting up with little effort, Naruto straightened out his clothes before locking eyes with Sasuke. She shifted her gaze to the young child holding her tightly and Naruto got the message. Hey, come on over here. I don't bite, you know. Naruto's smile was filled with warmth. Sasuke walked slowly to the group, which dragged Minori with her. I'm Naruto. What's your name? He wasn't purposefully ignoring the other children, he was only distracted as this one seemed to be having an issue. Minori. She yelled out with a furious blush. Innocent eyes searched everything on Naruto's face. Nice to meet you, Minori-chan. Naruto ruffled her hair playfully. You can let go of my friend now. All of the children gasped again. Gaara simply watched the interaction play out. He wasn't upset in the least that they forgot about him. You do know Sasu-chan. Minori slowly released Sasuke's cloak. Naruto struggled to hold in his chuckle. He caught the way Sasuke's nose twitched at the name. Yup. Sasu-chan is my teammate and we've been friends since we were about your age. Naruto explained to the group. Moron, she mumbled under her breath. They were certainly not friends in the past. I'll tell you more, but for now I want to know all of your names. Every child grinned at their inclusion and rushed to shout out their name before the inevitable shinobi questions began. Sasuke watched Minori cling to Naruto now. She stared at her teammate like he was the only ray of sunshine after a rainstorm. That wasn't an inaccurate description of Naruto, at least to Sasuke. He's quite good with children, isn't he? The voice that was tinged with emotion asked Sasuke. He's always been good with them. She remembered his relationship with Konohamaru and his little friends. Tamari once said that I need to practice my skills with handling children if I ever want to be a father. Gaara told her offhandedly. Sasuke kept quiet. HMPH. Naruto is a father. He'd probably sneak his kids ramen all the time and they'd make sure he never gets any work done. I feel bad for his future wife. She thought to herself as she watched him interact with the orphans. If I may ask, what is making you smile? Gaara questioned her, and she made a very unsuccessful attempt at changing that smile into a frown. Perhaps you're thinking of Naruto as a father. How interesting. Sasuke missed wearing her high-collared shirts in that moment. When Tamari appeared with the orphanage owner in tow, they witnessed Naruto talking animatedly with the entire group of children. Observing his retelling of training and grandiose missions for a short while, the old woman who took care of the many orphaned young ones made her presence known. Only 2 taps of her withered cane on the ground alerted everyone. Every boy and girl became quiet when the woman they all respected revealed herself. Naruto paused mid-sentence and eyed the elder. She was similar in appearance to Chiyo, the one old woman from the village who Naruto would never forget. Well, what do we have here? Kazekage-sama and Konoha's own hero. It's a pleasure. The woman smiled pleasantly at them. Sasuke, who stood to the side of Gaara, narrowed her eyes at the old hag. She received nothing but disgusted looks and glares ever since her arrival. Granny, I'm guessing you're the one taking care of all of them. You must be doing a good job, because they are great kids. Naruto gave her his village famous grin and easily raised a giggling Minori with one arm. Ohaho, you flatter me. It seems your reputation does precede you. You may call me Akane. She bowed her head forward in respect for the strong shinobi. Temari shot Naruto and Gaara a smile as she stood close by. Akane-san, has the issue been resolved with improving the orphanage and its finances? Gaara approached the elder, which left Sasuke standing awkwardly at the side of the room. Temari-chan is always a great help. It shouldn't take much longer for this place to get cleaned up. I've been terribly busy since the end of the war. Every shinobi in the room understood how many orphans were made after the Great War. That is good news. Rest assured I will do my best to make sure this process goes along smoothly. These children are the future of our village and it is important we tend to them. Gaara sounded just like how a cage should, and Naruto felt pride swell up in him for his friend. You truly were the best choice for this village, Gaara-sama. Akane complimented him with happiness showing on her aged face. Although, I wouldn't mind borrowing that man over there to help with the children. She motioned with her cane towards the children who still climbed Naruto like a tree. I'm afraid he is needed with other matters for a few more days. Gaara informed her. What a shame. Akane shook her head in disappointment. The ability to connect with the children instantly was not one to be ignored. Uchiha Sasuke is still available to help if needed. Upon Gaara's offer, Sasuke caught the darkened eyes of the orphanage owner. Is she? How nice. Akane tapped her cane lightly on the ground. Gaara-sama, do you recall how we took in some orphans when there was an unfortunate amount that couldn't be held in Tetsu no Kuni? The woman kept her eyes on Sasuke as she spoke. Yes. As a way of forming an alliance with Mifune-sama and his samurai, we agreed to take them back to Suna. There simply wasn't enough funding to support them after the war efforts caused their economy to suffer. Is there something wrong with them? Gaara had a feeling he understood and he wasn't exactly pleased for her to be bringing this up. The past couldn't be forgotten, but times were changing. People were changing. Oh, I'm just reminiscing is all. They've all grown so much and it feels like it was just yesterday that they were brought here. It's such a shame, taken from their home and many lost the only parent they had. Gaara and Temari appeared displeased at her words. I see. Well, I am glad they are doing well. If that's all, Akane-san, we will be taking our leave. There are more meetings I must attend before the day ends. Despite how he felt about her comments, he acted with proper decorum. Please do not let me hold you up. She craned her head forward to acknowledge her leader before smiling at the other Suna shinobi. Temari-chan, it's always a pleasure working with you. Likewise, Akane-san. Temari returned the gesture, if only a bit more subdued than usual. Naruto easily picked up on the tense atmosphere in the room and glanced at his teammate. Sasuke stood with her usual blank face. Moving from the circle of children, Naruto was determined to figure out why the mood flipped. Naruto, you're leaving. Minori's lip quivered as she looked up at her idol. Naruto patted her on the head gently before doing the same with the other children that surrounded him. Sorry kids. I've been working with Gaara and I have another important thing to do with my teammate. Naruto apologetically explained to the downtrodden children. Will you come back to visit? Minori asked him hopefully. Of course. Whenever I'm in Suna, I'll be sure to visit you guys if you're still here. You can even come to my home when you're older. Naruto reassured them. Minori's face lit up before she whipped her head around the room to spot Sasuke. Sasu-chan, she cried before barreling into the young woman. Akane watched on with an unreadable expression. Minori. Sasuke kept her tone from revealing any emotion. Sasu-chan, are you going to come visit too? Minori needed to be reassured that she'll see her again. Her eyes shifted from Naruto to Akane. Akane's words echoed in Sasuke's head. The consequences of her actions set in. The 5-Cage Summit, a meeting that brought together all the leaders of the great nations to fight for a common goal. It was a grand event that was ultimately interrupted by her and Obito. Her goal was Danzo, she didn't care for much else at the time. Though with having won too many close calls with death and after nearly going blind, it was not an event that she fondly remembered. What she did vividly recall was the samurai that fought against her on the path for revenge. She cut them down one after another. It was too easy. Some may have had families, which left innocent children behind. Blinded by hatred, she didn't even bother to consider what would come out of it. Atonement? Did she even deserve it? Sasu-chan. The high-pitched voice called her again. Whenever those dark thoughts invaded her mind, she held on to the words said by Naruto. How he told her she changed, how she wasn't that kind of person anymore. When she told him she could still stand against him, he assured her that it wouldn't come to pass. She wasn't being consumed by that sickening curse of hatred that held her for years. There was never any concern on his end when it came to her traveling down that road of life once more. He believed in her, even though he shouldn't. Not after all the things she's done and said to him. I will. She relented. Her regret and self-loathing were locked back up for the time being. Yay. Minori hugged her tightly at the waist, succeeding in making Sasuke's body tense. Naruto was at her side before she even noticed. He smiled at her moody face before throwing an arm around her and pulling her close. Whatever tension she felt melted away at his touch, which was a new and strange sensation for her. Ah, Sasu-chan is the best. Isn't she? Naruto teased with a snicker. His eyes shot open in pain when his foot was stepped on harshly. Be quiet. I take it back. Sasu-chan is so mean. Minori giggled at their interaction. Akane couldn't make sense of why Naruto allowed himself to get so close to that woman. Did he not know of her previous actions? Surely he did. Her Kage noticed the confusion. Akane-san. Gaara kept his voice low. The road that she followed in the past is not one any have forgotten. The same can be said for myself. Both his sister and the elder listened closely to their leader's words. Why does he associate with her, Gaara-sama? Someone as good-natured as him, lowering himself to that level. She orphaned some of the very children in this building. Akane's hushed tone was riddled with disdain. Sasuke has dealt with many troubles, though I understand that doesn't excuse her past actions. Despite it all, there's always been one constant in her life. Naruto. Their history isn't my place to share, but know this, Akane-san, monsters don't seek to change. Monsters don't seek help. With his piece said, Gaara went to reunite with his friend. Temari bid the woman farewell and followed her younger brother. Akane heard the children groan in disappointment and sadness when the cool shinobi left the orphanage. Before she could announce her upcoming dinner for the children, Minori ran up to her. Did you hear? Did you hear they are going to come visit? She questioned the orphanage owner while jumping in place. Yes, young one, I'm sure you must be very happy. Personal feelings aside, she had to remain positive for them. I hope Sasu-chan can teach me next time. She's so cool. She has two different eyes and one is purple with weird little things around it. Oh, and Naruto has. Minori began to highlight every little thing she noticed. Akane did her best to listen, but her mind drifted elsewhere. Hearing nothing but the worst when it came to the Uchiha for years, her feelings wouldn't change instantly. However, the emotions swirling in Sasuke's eyes when she looked at Naruto were hard to classify as monstrous. It reminded her of how she would look at her late husband all those years ago. Granny. Hey, are you even listening? She was brought back to reality as Minori questioned her. Of course, my dear, I'm just a little distracted by all of the details. Please go on. Akane came to regret those words as Minori would continue to talk about her two new favorite people for the rest of the evening. Seated on the rooftop ledge of the Kazekage mansion, Sasuke looked out at the lit-up village. Nighttime in Sunagakure was different from anything she's seen before. When the chilling wind swept across the desert, parents rushed the children into the safety of their warm homes. The frequent and unpredictable sandstorms also ensured most wouldn't wander out into the night. Sasuke didn't mind the cold biting at her face considering her long cloak provided more than enough protection from the elements. Besides, she had a lot on her mind. Weather conditions weren't going to stop the creeping feeling of regret that formed in her chest. If someone observed her in that moment, they'd notice the conflicted expression that overtook her usual composed and delicate features. What she heard at the orphanage left her thinking about her previous actions even more. She was the one responsible for some of those children being there. She ruined families. Just as hers was ruined by a failing system of shinobi. Sasuke closed her eyes and controlled her breathing. The last time she thought like that, she lost an arm while fighting with the only person alive who truly mattered to her. This is where you ran off to. She should have expected the voice from behind her. The last Uchiha was basically letting off every negative emotion she kept bottled up. Unfortunately for her, both Naruto and his Biju were masters at picking up on those. The ledge she sat on was soon occupied by another body as Naruto sat with her. It would have been shoulder to shoulder, if the idiot didn't have such a huge growth spurt. He was too tall now. They both sat in silence and overlooked the village that Gaara won over. Minori-chan's a cute kid, isn't she? Naruto commented as he watched the sand dance in the wind. Yeah, she is. Sasuke admitted with a frown. She wondered if Minori would still enjoy her company when she found out about her actions. What's the matter, Sasuke? I noticed how tense the orphanage became after the old lady came down with Temari. Naruto had some idea. He wasn't stupid, definitely dense at times, but not stupid. Sasuke knew there was no point in hiding anything from Naruto. She was stuck with him on this journey and he was annoyingly persistent with anything involving her. The old woman mentioned some of the children were taken from Tetsu no Kuni. I'm sure you remember what happened there. Sasuke didn't look him in the eye when she spoke. The 5-cage summit. Naruto had his own reasons for trying to forget those days. Yes. Sasuke's confirmation caused silence to form between the two once again. Naruto knew he had to be the one to break it. You know, I begged the Raikage to leave you alone. Naruto chuckled to himself, remembering how he pitifully got on his knees to plead for her. No matter how foolish it may have seemed at the time. Everyone told me what you were doing. Everyone told me to stop trying to help you. He noticed how she still refused to meet his gaze. Why didn't you? She knew he never gave up on her, but she deserved it. To throw away his pride as a shinobi by kneeling to a foreign cage for her. When you were stuck on your path of revenge and attacked the cage, that wasn't you. That wasn't the Sasuke who constantly tried to show off during training. That wasn't the Sasuke who would kick me under the counter when I'd slurp my ramen too loudly during our team dinners. That wasn't the Sasuke I knew. Naruto explained to her as he fondly remembered their first months as Team 7. I changed. That's all there is to it. You should have left me alone and hated me like everyone else. Sasuke's voice was barely above a whisper. She spoke those dreadful words, but did not mean them. Never. Deep down I knew you were still there. Sakura-chan wanted me to bring you back so our team could be complete again, but... Naruto scratched at his cheek, feeling embarrassed over what he was going to admit. Even if she didn't want you back, I did. I guess I can be pretty selfish. You're the one person I wanted to acknowledge me. Besides, what you did at the summit was because of Danzo, right? I still took down anyone who got in my way, Naruto. The samurai were the first to go. She didn't need to explain how this related to the orphanage, she figured Naruto understood. Sasuke heard her teammate sigh as he looked up to the star-filled sky. Do you regret it, Sasuke? Being regretful won't change what I've done. You're right. His response was completely justified, but that didn't stop her chest from tightening painfully. That's why you wanted to go on this journey though. This is a chance to show everyone that the Sasuke who did all those things is gone. You can show all these people the real you. The smug Uchiha who can't handle eating sweet things. He grinned brightly at her. She couldn't believe the effect he had on her. What was happening to her? You really are something, Uzumaki. That was all she could say. Naruto constantly propped her up while she tried keeping herself down. She doubted that regret would go away in her lifetime, but she wanted to follow Naruto's advice. His obnoxiously positive and warm advice. I know I am. Please keep complimenting me, Sasu-chan. Naruto fanned himself tauntingly. You know I don't like being called that. It's cute. Sakura-chan calls you that one too. Sakura is a nuisance. Oh come on, she's your teammate. Reluctantly, Kurama's Jinchuriki began laughing at their back and forth. Sasuke didn't even notice that he successfully pulled her away from all the negativity swimming around inside her head. Naruto made that seem effortless. So, you really begged the rakeage for me. She smirked somewhat playfully at him now. Yeah, I figured you weren't anywhere near as strong as I was, so you needed some protection. I had to save you. He was messing with her and they both knew it. Please. You've been weaker than me from the beginning. What kind of weakling can't even do a simple Bunshin no jutsu? She played into his taunts. Hidden within her, Sasuke would never stop being grateful for his ability at making her worries disappear. The kind that can make thousands of super strong clones. I've destroyed hundreds of those clones. They are weaker than the weakling who created them. She leaned forward to taunt him more directly. Only because I let you do that. He defended himself poorly. And I let you win our last fight. You did not. We both lost our damn arms because somebody had to clash our jutsu again. Naruto shot back at her. Sasuke felt her face flush at both his accusation and how close their faces were now. Loser. She averted her eyes from his. Ha, you admit it. If anything, Naruto's face got closer to her own. Sasuke was reminded of all those years ago, when they kissed. Accidentally. If you get any closer, I will stab you. The only way Sasuke knew how to cover up her embarrassment was with empty threats. Naruto's grin widened when he picked up on it. He could read Sasuke like a book. You're embarrassed. You're delusional. And you're embarrassed. Delusional. Embarrassed. I would throw up if possible. Be quiet, Kurama. The romantic moment was ruined by the tailed beast's intervention. Delusional. Sasuke couldn't help but chuckle at the silly look on Naruto's face. Due to the distraction, she got the last word in. I'm an Uchiha, it's my right to get the last word. Not even an Uzumaki can. Her inner monologue was disrupted by Naruto's arms grabbing hold of her. She felt her body pressed to his in an intimate way. Naruto, let me go. I'll show you delusional. They rolled off the rooftop in a tangle of limbs. Within the cage office, Gaara rose a cup of steaming hot coffee to his lips. He was just about finished with whatever paperwork he set aside to help Naruto for the day. Suddenly, he felt compelled to turn his head and admire the land he swore to protect beyond the large windows. Naruto. Sasuke. Gaara watched the two fall past his window into the sand below. Their loud voices were heard even from within his office. Chidori. I hate that jutsu. The nighttime air screamed with the ferocity of 1,000 chirping birds. He took a sip of his coffee. They would be fine. You're going to die, Naruto. Out of necessity. Sasuke jolted from her slumber when she had that dream again. Although, calling it a nightmare was the more appropriate term. Ever since she was young, she's been plagued by them. They were an unfortunate memento left behind from Itachi's actions. Pushing herself up on the surprisingly soft mattress with one arm, she felt her breathing begin to even out. Those nightmares happened so often that she barely reacted to them outwardly. In her childhood, she'd jump out of bed and spend the entire night crying. Crying for her family, her brother, and herself. Tonight she was reminded of the words she once spit in Naruto's face. Her plan to get rid of the tailed beasts, and by extension, Naruto. She recalled the way his eyes displayed the emotions he tried hiding behind his confident exterior when she revealed her ultimate goal. She failed. Naruto made sure that she lost. Naruto saved her. Her body moved from the bed lent to her generously by Gaara. His cage estate was not the most luxurious, but it had a certain comfortable vibe. She originally expected to have her own room far away from his own quarters. Instead, Gaara placed her close to his own, along with one other resident to share her room. Sasuke's bare footsteps made no noise as she made her way along the cool tiled flooring. It was a skill she honed from her time with Orochimaru. Her ability to maneuver silently put the deceased Zabuza to shame. Approaching a bed that sat on the opposite side of the room, Sasuke observed its occupant. Naruto appeared vulnerable. Very vulnerable. A loose tank top that was currently hiked up as he laid a hand on his toned stomach and a pair of ramen-themed boxers. His sleepwear was far different from her own. The Uchiha wore a baggy long-sleeved blue shirt and pants that hid her lost appendage and body seamlessly. Sasuke's lone hand rose slowly, almost against her will. "You're going to die, Naruto." Out of necessity. The words from her dream repeated in her head again. Her clan's pride and joy activated as she heard him begin to mumble nonsensically in his sleep. Her Sharingan focused on his face. Every detail was engraved in her mind. She wasn't even sure why she studied him like this. If there was one person she could remember perfectly, it was Naruto. The tomo in her left eye spun while her powerful Rinnegan remained hidden behind long bangs. A small hand, at least when compared to his own, neared Naruto's face. It moved at a painstakingly slow pace. "Sasuke, eat the ramen. I don't care if you don't like it, tiny." Naruto mumbled while he tossed and turned in his bed. His sleep talk easily deciphered by her, and it effectively stopped her hand for the moment. Her face changed. Even in his sleep he thought of her. He was always thinking of her. Always at her side when everyone turned against her. Laying her hand gently against his cheek, she was reminded of the times when her mother would do this. Her mother would sweetly smile and tell her how she loves her. Stupid Sasuke. Naruto moved his head away from her hand and he appeared annoyed in his sleep. If Naruto saw her in that moment, he'd be treated to the genuine love-filled smile she had displayed on her usual cold face. When Sasuke returned to her bed, she slept peacefully. Her nightmares repressed by Naruto's presence. "It is unfortunate that you are leaving so soon." Gaara stood alone at the entrance to his village. Sasuke certainly did not miss the presence of the other Sand siblings. "I'd love to stay longer. It's just, Naruto rubbed the back of his head sheepishly. "I understand. Next time it would be nice if you notified me before your arrival." Gaara told the unique duo before him. "Sorry about that. This whole trip happened so fast." Naruto apologized with his usual grin. "It was only supposed to be me on this journey." Sasuke spoke from his side. Gaara noticed that she looked fairly well rested. "Ah, Sasuke. I hope your time at the orphanage wasn't too unpleasant." The cage spent most of his days with Naruto that he didn't get a chance to speak much with the woman. "It was all right," Sasuke answered him simply. Naruto poked her in the shoulder at the short answer. She sighed very quietly. "Fine. The kids weren't too bad." Her admittance earned a loud laugh from Naruto. They really liked her. Especially Minori-chan. They thought little Sasu-chan here was the best. "I won't be called little by someone who wears ramen underwear." Sasuke smirked mockingly. "Don't hate on the ramen boxers. Why were you looking at them anyway?" Naruto asked her with a mischievous smile. He wanted a reaction. Gaara watched them interact and was reminded of all those years ago at the Chunin exams. Back then, even while clouded by his own hatred, he noticed the bond they shared. "You look like a living, breathing advertisement for noodles. It's hard not to see that." Gaara smiled and watched Naruto grab Sasuke's cloak collar. They both blinked upon realizing they got lost in their own world again. "I'm glad that your time in my village wasn't entirely awful, Sasuke. Thank you for entertaining them." Gaara bowed his head forward. Despite his status and past, he remained humble. "No problem, Gaara." Naruto was happy that they were both getting along. Before he could speak up, Gaara held a hand out. Unlike the last time they departed in a similar fashion, Naruto didn't hesitate. Sasuke looked on silently as the two shook hands. She knew in the future that this scene would be between two Kage. Sand drifted up to her only arm and tugged on the sleeve of her shirt. She quickly sought out the manipulator. Just as I've told Naruto many times, you are always welcome in my village too. She didn't deserve that privilege. Helping with children was little penance for plotting to rid the world of the current Kage. The sand pulled on her with more force. Sasuke could have resisted. She could have pulled away and turned her back to him. That Sasuke is gone though. Right, Naruto. Her gaze drifted to her lifeline for a split second. Be well out there. I hope you find what you're looking for. Gaara grasped her hand lightly and the sand dropped peacefully from her garment. Sasuke wordlessly nodded. She hoped so too. Next time I see you both, I'm sure you'll be together. Gaara released his hold on Sasuke and allowed her arm to fall back at her side. Naruto scrunched his face up as he thought about the meaning behind those words. You know Gaara, you've gotten really confusing after becoming Kage. He continued to marvel at his friend's change in personality. Don't mind me, my friend. Stepping back closer to the village, Gaara waited for their departure. Okay then, we're off. Naruto saluted him with a bandaged hand before spinning on his heel to face Sasuke. What now? She noticed the way he looked her head to toe. If it weren't for her whole body being covered by a cloak and her patented Uchiha poker face, maybe she'd be flattered. You up for a race? First one to the border wins. Sasuke did not enjoy the smugness on his stupid face. Are you planning to use the fox? Her accusation hit the nail on the head. No. Sasuke reached into her cloak and flung a shuriken with a smooth flick of her wrist. Naruto tilted his head as the weapon flew through the open air of the desert. She definitely added some chakra to that throw. See you at the border, loser. Her Rinnegan widened and she disappeared. Naruto watched the shuriken fall to the sand in front of him. Oh, there she goes. Gaara commented as he looked to the titanic Susanoo flying into the barren desert. Such a cheater. I hate the Rinnegan. Tightening his fists, Naruto felt warm chakra spill from his seal. Naruto, this is a waste of chakra. You want Sasuke to beat us? Naruto felt the Kyuubi stir in the seal. Take it all. Naruto threw a wave in Gaara's direction as he rocketed towards the location of his teammate. If that's what a relationship is like, then I feel I am not ready. The Kage thought to himself. Gaara was just happy that the two super-powered shinobi would not be scaring his villagers half to death with their abilities anymore. I won. No you did not. My foot crossed it first. Your stupid Susanoo has big feet and a long nose. Learn to accept defeat, Uzumaki. Naruto grumbled and seated himself on a fallen log. Reaching the border of Kase no Kuni in a relatively short time was child's play for them at this point. In the past that trip could almost take a day or two of trekking through the desert. Why the hell does it have such a long nose anyway? Sasuke placed herself next to him on the log and shook her head at the odd question. Uchiha clan secret. Don't worry about it. PSH, keep your secrets. Reaching into her cloak, Sasuke retrieved a small black book. The book itself didn't appear special, but the information inside was all Orochimaru had on happenings in the elemental nations. It would be worth more than gold to some people. Holding it, she struggled more than she'd care to admit with turning the pages using only one hand. Where are we off to next? I guess it's your turn to pick since I dragged you to see Gaara. Naruto decided to read over her shoulder. It depends. Orochimaru also included profiles on rogue shinobi and listed bounties for them. She knew Naruto wouldn't be very interested in claiming bounties, but she wanted his input. I mean, if we have to clean up some areas for the better, that's fine. He sounded unsure. Rogue shinobi didn't just disappear after the war. In fact, they managed to get better at hiding as the rest of the nations were fighting world-ending threats. Peace wasn't wanted by everyone after all. No matter how much he wished that was the case. The Mizukage requested some help from nearby nations apparently. I'm not sure if they responded yet since every village is still recovering from the war. Sasuke relayed the information. Naruto's warm breath hit her ear due to his close proximity, and she felt her cheeks warm up ever so slightly. I've never been to Kurigakure. Plus, I haven't seen the Mizukage in a while. She's very nice, you know. Naruto didn't quite understand why Mei licked her lips in his direction whenever seeing him as she visited his home village. Maybe she was thirsty. Which was weird, considering her abilities. Kurama snorted at Naruto's thoughts. The pages of the book crinkled when Sasuke applied a little too much force. Maybe we should go somewhere else. Oni no Kuni also needs help with something. Naruto shot off the log at that suggestion. Oh, hell no. Haha. No, I want to visit Kurigakure. Remember Zabuza was from there. Oh, and Isobu and the little Mizukage. Yeah, I love Kurigakure. Naruto steadily rose his voice with his rambling. Sasuke searched her memories for a reason behind his attitude. What was it about the area that bothered him? She didn't even know he was familiar with the land of demons. The only reason I won't question your behavior is because I want to see the world with my own eyes. That was a lie. She was definitely going to question him, just not now. Wait, does that mean we get to visit Nami no Kuni? Naruto was excited at the idea. It's been so long since he's seen old man Tazuna and his family. Yes, we can take a boat from there. Sasuke wasn't exactly jumping for joy at this information, even if she was interested in seeing how that place changed again. The last time she was there, she focused on getting Suigetsu the sword he wanted and not much else. Perfect. Let's move out then. Naruto shouted and marched off in a direction of his choosing. Wrong way. She stopped him in his tracks. How do you even know? In Uchiha, Orochimaru's book has a map. Doesn't it? Sasuke turned her back to him and proceeded to move in the opposite direction. She could practically feel the satisfied grin on his face from behind her. Dumb, cute, annoying Uzumaki. Nightfall came quickly on their long walk to Nami no Kuni, and they were met with a new problem. There isn't anywhere we can stop for the night. Sasuke frowned at the long stretch of trees ahead of them. The only sounds she heard were the rustling of tree leaves, and someone's very poor attempt at whistling. Her dry gaze zeroed in on Naruto. So, we can camp it out. Naruto didn't see the problem with that as he strolled forward with his hands behind his head. It only took a few minutes for Naruto to pick a quiet spot for them. Withdrawing a small scroll from the pouch on his waist, Naruto pumped chakra into the inscribed seal. In a medium-sized plume of smoke, a bright orange tent appeared. Everything looks about right. The tent was a little worn from use with a few holes, but it held up. Nodding to himself, he turned to his best friend and watched her hesitantly pull a scroll out herself. Another plume of smoke appeared. PFTTT. The noise he made irritated her. Sasuke's tent was originally way better quality than his own. Although unlike his, the years were not kind to her shelter. The entire thing looked like it was burnt to a crisp multiple times. I haven't had time to get a new one. I'm fine sleeping outside. She had no issue finding a tree to lean against. She's dealt with far worse in her life than some shoddy sleeping arrangements. No way. I'll sleep outside. If there was one lesson Jiraiya beat into his head, it was never to let a woman sleep outside in the cold. Even though he would follow that advice up with inviting the girl to bed and making her warm. No. That's your tent. She stated the obvious and sealed her depressing tent back up. What if we share? Sasuke's mind briefly flashed to the previous night where she watched him sleep. I mean, this wouldn't be the first time we slept together. She almost choked on her spit at his painfully innocent tone. I slept with Sakura-chan plenty of times too. That killed her mood instantly. That was not something she liked hearing. Fine. I hope you don't snore or anything. Sasuke sent a weak glare his way. She just wasn't interested in sleeping on the ground now. That was all. Nothing else. Sakura-chan said I'm really quiet when sleeping with her. Naruto. Huh, shut up. He closed his mouth when the glare morphed into something fiercer. Deep down he knew that Sasuke liked Sakura. Very, Very deep down. Sasuke eyed his tent disapprovingly. He really slept in that with Sakura. There was barely enough room for 2 people. The Uchiha was fully convinced Sakura did these things to piss her off. Even if she wasn't around to witness it. Are the living arrangements not up to your standards, Queen Uchiha-sama? Naruto mocked her and Kurama made a disgruntled sound within the seal. Did Sakura put those holes in your tent with her brutish strength? Sasuke attempted to pull in whatever jealousy she was feeling. She needed to do it quickly too. She couldn't let Naruto catch onto the fact that Sakura made her envious. I think it was Mauve's. Naruto stared thoughtfully at his tent. It definitely suffered through many of his long missions. Mauve's named Sakura. I never got their names actually. Sasuke faked a poor-sounding cough to hide the fact that his joke got to her. It didn't hold up when Naruto broke into his own fit of chuckles. This feeling, Sasuke felt at ease when she laughed along with Naruto. Calming down from the laughter they shared, Naruto turned to open the tent and investigate the interior. Humming to himself, he made sure it was clean. The last time he used it was before the war started. You can change first, Naruto told her nonchalantly. Sasuke stared at him for a moment, so he continued. You're going to lay down in a tent wearing like 3 layers of clothes and with weapons on you? Obviously not. Squinting her special eyes at him, she moved past him and bumped him with her shoulder. The height difference only made him snort. Growth spurts were the best. Naruto heard her turn on the small lantern in the tent and zip up the entrance. In that brief span of time he thought of some things that Jiraiya would do. Before he had a chance to ponder that further, because he was not a complete degenerate, he heard a soft thud from within the tent. Sasuke. Everything all right? He wondered if she tripped. It was a funny thought that a strong shinobi like her would fall over. It's nothing. Naruto whipped his head towards the direction of the tent entrance. Sasuke stuttering was a rare occurrence. The internal shuffling continued for another minute before the zipper began to be pulled once more. Sasuke walked out with her usual baggy sleeping attire and she refused to even glance in his direction. Figuring she didn't want to talk about it, Naruto wisely entered his tent to change. Having one arm, it's a challenge. Her face flushed as she thought of the embarrassing fall she suffered. Tripping while changing her pants sounded like a joke, and she really wished it was. Sasuke watched her sleeves sway in the wind with a small frown. It was a handicap, one that she did not plan on fixing. She wasn't sure what it would take for her to accept a replacement arm. Probably nothing. Tiny Uchiha-sama, your bed awaits. Naruto ducked his head out of the tent and gestured for her to come forward. Pushing down the urge to insult him again, she entered the small shelter. HMPH. There's not much room in here. Her remark was aimed at the 2 sleeping bags that were directly next to each other. Sasuke wasn't happy at sleeping on the same spot as Sakura. Sakura. No. Dropping to the floor, Sasuke wormed her way into her orange confines for the evening. Naruto snickered and followed her actions. He knew he was getting under her skin and he loved it. A comfortable silence followed in the tent as they both watched the twinkling stars from the holes in the fabric. Luckily, it wasn't raining because Naruto knew they'd be in trouble then. Hey, Sasuke, Naruto called out to her softly. Sasuke gave a small noise of acknowledgement for him to go on. What do you think about when you look at the stars? Sasuke went completely silent as she pondered his question. She thought about a lot, but one thing always stood out. Itachi used to watch the stars with me when I was young. Her eyes became half-lidded. She remembered sitting outside her home and gazing up at the beautiful sky. I would have liked to talk with him some more, you know. He was like a super genius. Seriously, every time I spoke with him I felt so dumb. Naruto complained dramatically and Sasuke found herself laughing again. That brought a small smile to his face. Anything involving Itachi was an extremely sensitive topic for her, but Naruto knew how to guide the conversation. He liked you. I don't know why, since you're a complete fool. Her words were far more affectionate than insulting. Now that you mention it, that time he stuck a crow down my throat. I told him we were best friends. He laughed and I don't think he believed me for some reason. Naruto yawned loudly as he felt fatigue hit him. Sasuke knew what he was referring to. When she met Itachi during their attempt to stop Kabuto, her brother seemed to almost tease her when it came to Naruto. The way he would call Naruto her closest comrade had hidden undertones. The Rakuto Sennin was also amused at that. She realized the only two people she could hide her true feelings from at times was Naruto and herself. Before her own thoughts kept her trapped, she whispered to him. Naruto, what do you think of? The answer she received was in the form of soft breathing and she fully expected him to be asleep. When I was a kid, I'd wonder if my parents or anybody who cared was watching me from above. Then after you left, I would. Naruto paused and Sasuke fumbled around in her sleeping bag to glance at him. Hearing about how lonely he was during his childhood always bothered her. You would what? She noticed his face dropping. He was falling asleep as he spoke. I would look for shooting stars and think of you. I wished that you'd come home. For a second, she felt her heart skip a beat. The tent remained quiet after that, and through the small light from a lantern, she saw that he drifted off to sleep. Sasuke didn't exactly consider the village her home anymore. A home was somewhere she expected to feel safe and wanted, not one where she was haunted by memories of the past. While she may struggle to find a place she could live comfortably in the future, Sasuke laid her head closer to Naruto and let sleep claim her. This was home. Naruto woke with a low groan, his sleep disturbed by the pesky sunlight that peeked through the hole-ridden interior of his tent. He reminded himself to purchase a new one considering he wasn't exactly hurting for funds after the war. Raising an arm to hopefully rub at his face, he felt resistance. He blinked a few times to wake himself up before he sought out the cause of his struggle. A familiar head rested peacefully against his bandaged arm. Sasuke must have disregarded her small pillow in favor of using him. The dead sensation in his forearm could only mean that she's been laying on it throughout the entire night. Kurama, you up? Naruto called out to his partner, hoping to get some help with the current situation. No, leave me alone. Kurama was not pleased at Naruto laying with an Uchiha. It was only a matter of time before the brat went further and Kurama would weep. Fine, I'll just wake her myself. Naruto was very happy that Sasuke was sharing his tent instead of Sakura. While the medic got over her little habit of bonking him on the head years ago, she hated being woken up. He had to deal with that many times while going on missions with her, and he was glad Sasuke seemed more reasonable. Yes, because the words Uchiha and reasonable go together. Go back to sleep, grumpy. With an indignant huff, the sentient construct of chakra decided to listen for once. Bringing his other arm around to tap on Sasuke's shoulder, he attempted to wake her up. Unfortunately, it did the opposite. Sasuke continued to breathe softly as she slept and practically nuzzled his arm. Huh, she's like a cat. Naruto remembered the odd mission his team went on in the past. They had to complete a paw encyclopedia for the felines, and Sasuke was strangely committed to finishing it. He smiled when he recalled the tiny set of cat ears that was forced on each of them. Sasuke and Sakura looked pretty cute with the accessory. Gently grabbing her shoulder, he started to shake her awake. Naruto realized she really must have been comfortable in the shoddy tent. He decided to tease her a little bit and leaned in closer to whisper. Hey Sasuke, the Uzumaki are way stronger than the Uchiha. Blue eyes watched intently as her nose started to scrunch up. The Rinnegan isn't even that cool. Have you seen Senjutsu? Now that's badass. His taunts continued with little effect. Sasuke started fidgeting while he held her shoulder. Sakura-chan has a big. Shut up, dumbass. Sasuke's voice was rough after just waking up. Naruto chuckled and sat back to watch her. Forcing her body up, Sasuke narrowed her mismatched eyes at her teammate. Her spiky, raven-colored hair was even more of a mess after sleeping. If she was like Sakura or Ino, she'd be horrified at her state. Good morning, Sasu-chan. His closed-eye smile reminded her of that stupid expression he'd have on his face when they were younger. Back then he looked so carefree, but she knew the truth. The Uzumaki are not better than the Uchiha. Sasuke couldn't help herself. She never could when it came to him. We have Fuinjutsu and it's way better than your weird eyes. I'm pretty sure I've used Fuinjutsu more than you. Maybe, but my mom was like super amazing at using it. Naruto paused before his eyes lit up. Dad too. He was the yellow flash after all. His chest was puffed proudly while he talked about his parents. Yet their son is the biggest loser around. Sasuke gave him a mocking smile before rubbing at her eyes. Whatever. I gotta go take a leak. Naruto told her with no shame. Sasuke stared blankly at his back. You are a child. Naruto didn't respond. He knew if he did they'd just start insulting each other and he'd never get to relieving himself. He left the tent unzipped before running off into the surrounding forest. Sasuke laughed quietly to herself. He never changed. That's one of the things she'd always cherish. Stretching her body, which was a little sore after sleeping on the floor, she figured she should get dressed first. They can worry about bathing after reaching Nami no Kuni. At their pace, it wouldn't take long to get there. Stripping out of her oversized sleeping clothes, she sent chakra to the seal she had on her wrist and a small scroll popped out. Grabbing it before it could fall, she huffed. I totally use more Fuinjutsu. She needed to feel superior even if he wasn't around to hear her. Before she could open the scroll and dress herself in another one of her usual outfits, she caught sight of something bright under the blanket that covered her through the night. Sasuke bent over to retrieve the object and for a second she thought she heard something fall outside the tent. She would have investigated if she didn't feel the vicious burn of jealousy upon seeing the article of clothing in Naruto's tent. It was a bra, small and pink. Sasuke didn't need to have a Nara level of intelligence to figure out who it belonged to. Only one person would wear something like that. There's no point in her even wearing a bra. With a cruel smile, Sasuke felt something warm drip down from her Rinnegan eye. Only a second later, the poor lingerie succumbed to the intense flames of Amaterasu. Quickly wiping the blood from her face, she felt satisfied. Sasuke owed Sakura. She could not deny it. She was there for Naruto when Sasuke lost herself and he cared deeply for her. That didn't mean she would let her get closer to Naruto, for reasons. Sasuke narrowed her eyes while struggling to put on her shirt. A lot of females cared for Naruto. It was a big change from when they were kids. Most girls disregarded him and she was somewhat guilty of it too. However, the bond they shared was special and she refused to give it up. Naruto chased after her for years and wouldn't quit for anything. No way would she give him up to an annoying medic. Or the Hyuga, Sasuke thought with a huge frown. She was on the receiving end of many scornful stares throughout her life, but she never could forget the disdain Hinata showed her the day they freed everyone from Kagaya's endless dream. Hurriedly slipping on some black pants, Sasuke felt embarrassed when almost tripping again. One arm, damn it. She could have sworn she heard another noise come from outside too. Reaching the harbor that could easily provide them passage to Nami no Kuni, Sasuke was irritated. While it was a familiar feeling for her, she didn't necessarily enjoy it. Naruto, for whatever reason, stuttered when he spoke to her during their walk to the harbor. She had no idea what happened to him. You two travel in the world as a couple. Her eyes flickered to the owner of the small boat that they hired. He was an aged man with a relatively friendly disposition. The hefty amount of money Naruto gave him for an easy task made him overjoyed. Sasuke saw no point in overpaying anybody. In fact, she knew they could have easily walked the entire way with their amount of chakra. I guess we are. Naruto, ever the clueless one, shrugged towards the man. For whatever reason, Sasuke withheld from correcting him. That's sweet. Nami no Kuni used to be quite the poor region. Now it's become a bustling tourist spot, you know. We've even had the Mizukage visit to witness our spectacular bridges and beaches. The elderly man took great pride in his homeland. That's great. Naruto smiled at him. He was happy that his team and Tazuna's bridges were able to help the land improve. Look at that beauty. The great Naruto bridge is a marvel, ain't it? At his words, Naruto and Sasuke turned their attention to the large structure. The captain of the small boat figured they were both enamored with the bridge and simply couldn't form words. Only a few minutes later, they pulled up to a pier that led into an area that brought back many memories for the duo of shinobi. Well, it's been a pleasure, you two. Enjoy your time in Nami no Kuni. The old man was more than pleased with the sum of money Naruto generously gave him. Sasuke didn't spare him another glance before she began heading inland. Sasuke. Wait. Naruto threw the elder a quick wave before pursuing the Uchiha. You want to talk to me now? Sasuke continued to walk. What do you mean? Side by side, they approached the large bridge. All the way from the tent to the harbor you either stuttered or kept quiet. That's not like you. She watched him from the corner of her eye. He scratched at his hair and looked towards the ground. I'm just tired, you know. Now she knew something was up. Fine. Keep lying. I don't care. Sasuke wasn't even sure why it bothered her that much in the first place. Naruto appeared to be less than thrilled with her response. We're here. Your silly bridge. Sasuke changed the topic and put her hand on her hip while watching people move about on Tazuna's creation. Naruto momentarily forgot about their previous conversation and grinned when the memories came back to him. Zabuza and Haku, they were a part of shinobi history. He wasn't happy at recalling their deaths, but rather at the impact they had on him. Are you jealous that you don't have a cool bridge named after you? Naruto chuckled when she rolled her eyes. As if, who wants to be remembered in this backwater country anyway? Hey, you heard what the old man said. These people are thriving now. A bridge isn't that cool anyway. Sasuke ignored his knowing look and walked onto the bridge. Naruto walked by her side calmly. Nearby people subtly pointed at them and whispered in hushed tones. He was briefly reminded of his childhood but shoved those thoughts away. There was a lack of hatred and disgust here in comparison to his younger years. They probably know who we are, or rather you. Sasuke knew Naruto was quickly becoming a bit of a household name. A person couldn't befriend all of the Kage, while also being a key figure in the war, and not be known throughout the world. It's kind of embarrassing. At her best friend's words, she shook her head. He wanted to be the center of attention his entire life, and now that he couldn't handle it. His blush was at least cute to her. They probably don't know who you are because you're wearing like 3 layers of clothes. Never mind. He wasn't cute. Naruto, stop criticizing my clothing. I never called out that ridiculous orange jacket you always wore. Sasuke noticed some people stop and watch them, which was Naruto's fault because he got in her face as usual. You dressed like a boy when we were younger. Naruto's accusation made her deadpan. It was a shirt and shorts. It had no gender. Nope. It was like you stole Itachi's clothes or something. They were mine. How did he know she did that? Don't knock the orange and I won't make fun of your stolen boy clothes. Cute and infuriating were equally as synonymous in Sasuke's mind when describing Naruto. She was about to speak again before she saw a teenage girl appear behind Naruto. Excuse me, did she just call you Naruto? At the sound of a new voice, Naruto turned and looked down at the shorter girl. Yeah, that's me. He pointed a thumb to his chest confidently. Sasuke resisted the urge to snort. Uchiha don't snort. She was not Sakura. No way. The hero. Everyone, it's him. The girl shouted loudly and practically alerted the whole bridge. Naruto didn't get a chance to talk before a crowd formed and he was pulled in various directions. Sasuke stood at the edge of the gathering, seemingly ignored by the populace. She wasn't upset at the lack of attention, instead she reflected on the scene before her. Naruto's actions led him up this point. Everything he did selflessly for others invoked this reaction throughout the elemental nations. After connecting with him and basically seeing into his memories, she surely missed some details. He accomplished more than he let on. And he never wants anything in return. This fool can't even handle praise. Her eyes softened. Something as simple as overpaying an elderly ship owner, he did it without thinking. That was the kind of person he was. She wanted to atone, but she couldn't bring herself to give to others willingly like him. Not yet. Sasuke, help! Naruto shouted pitifully from the crowd and she locked eyes with him. Mouthing a small no at him, his face fell into despair and she didn't fight her smile any longer. Turn left up here. Are you sure? I could have sworn it was on the right. No. That would lead to the forest where we learned how to climb trees. Naruto hummed as he walked towards a certain bridge builder's home. He managed to escape the onslaught at the bridge by a few sneaky substitutions. Sasuke finally took pity on him and aided in his escape. Seeing a house come into view, Naruto knew that had to be Tazuna's residence. It was a modest-sized home that was built up and upgraded when compared to the humble space from all those years ago. Go knock on the door. Sasuke commanded him from his side. Why do I have to do it? They probably won't remember me without my so-called boy clothes. She glared at him and he appeared sheepish. Good point. Naruto stepped up to the wooden door and raised a hand to knock. You knock like a weakling. Sasuke wasn't sure why she felt the need to insult him pointlessly. Maybe she loved his reactions, or maybe the clothing comment got to her. Naruto had no opportunity to challenge Sasuke to a fight as the door opened suddenly. Hello. Oh my, it can't be. A mature woman with long blue hair and soft facial features stared in surprise at the duo. Naruto-kun and Sasuke-chan. Nobody noticed Sasuke's eyebrow twitch. It's been a long time, Tsunami-san. Naruto surprised his teammate with his respectful tone. Please come in. I just finished making some tea. Opening the door wide, Tsunami gestured for the two to enter. The mother of Inari and daughter of Tazuna would forever be grateful to these shinobi. That sounds great, right Sasuke-chan? Naruto continued to tease her. Tsunami watched the two and smiled to herself. Lose. It sounds wonderful, Naruto-kun. She stopped herself from being rude in front of the woman. The way Sasuke said his name sounded so wrong that Naruto wanted to cringe. I see that you two haven't changed. It's adorable. Tsunami allowed the two entry into her home and they neatly took off their sandals. She reminisced on the two young shinobi competing with each other while eating and almost getting sick. Please take a seat at the table, I'll bring you both some hot tea and we can talk. Naruto had no time to blink before Tsunami dashed off to her kitchen. He surveyed the room and fondly remembered being in the exact place on their first ever mission outside of the village. They seemed to be doing well for themselves. Sasuke commented and made her way to the table. It just makes me happy that the people here aren't suffering anymore. Naruto was glad he had the chance to visit all of the people from his past. Yeah, it's a big difference from back then. Fighting with her Sharingan for the first time, almost dying, and spending time alone with Naruto ensured that Sasuke would never forget this place. Okay, you two. Steaming hot tea coming your way. Tsunami entered the room with a tray of cups in her grasp. Distributing the beverage, she took a seat directly across from the two. She found it cute that they chose to sit so close to each other. They've truly grown from those noisy little kids. Tsunami admired their outward changes. Naruto looked a lot more mature with his shorter hair and overall physique. It was harder to see a lot of Sasuke underneath the long cloak and hair. Regardless, Tsunami knew she had a unique and mysterious charm to her that was amplified as she grew. It's delicious. Naruto wasn't a fan of tea, Sasuke knew that from their past missions. He still complimented it with no hesitation. It really is. Thank you. Sasuke nodded her head in gratitude. Oh, stop. You two really know how to flatter an old lady. Tsunami smiled at the two. You're not old at all. You still look so young and pretty. Naruto received two different reactions. Tsunami beamed brighter at his compliment and Sasuke hid a frown behind her cup. Speaking of old, where's that famous bridge builder in Inari? Tsunami looked shocked for a second, she couldn't believe she forgot to tell them. Both my father and Inari-kun are in Kurigakure for an important meeting regarding a structure being rebuilt soon. I'm terribly sorry for not telling you sooner. Seeing her bowed head, Naruto waved her off quickly. No, it's fine. We just wanted to make sure they were doing alright. They are doing more than alright. My father is wanted for jobs all over the elemental nations and Inari-kun is following in his footsteps. Tsunami couldn't be prouder of her family. That makes a lot of sense since that old man makes some amazing bridges. Naruto was happy to have one named after him, even if Sasuke thought it was lame. Of course, and it's all thanks to your team. We can never repay you all for what you've done for our home. Tsunami reached over the table to tap on Naruto's bandaged hand as a friendly gesture. She's like a 40-something-year-old woman. She's not Sakura or the big Ed Hyuga. Sasuke quelled her jealousy. It was both a silly and a new feeling for her when it came to Naruto. She wasn't sure what to do. You two have to stay for dinner. I'd love to hear more about what you've been up to. Tsunami was initially weary of shinobi, but that all changed after her father went to Konoha and received help from them. Sasuke was about to deny the offer before feeling a pinch on her thigh underneath the wooden table. Her right eye flickered between obsidian black and bright red. Seriously, how did he know? We'd love to. He had that ridiculous smile on his face. The one that made Sasuke stupidly attracted to him. Great. I hope you two don't shovel it down like last time. Tsunami giggled at the pair. Oh, let me go grab a few pictures of the two. They've built some new things over the past few years that I need to show you. She suddenly left them seated at the table. The only sound coming from the room was Naruto purposely sipping his tea loudly. I hate you. Sasuke spoke through gritted teeth. He laughed so hard that he almost choked on the beverage. I really didn't expect anybody to give us a free room to stay in. Naruto stood in front of a rather luxurious hotel room door. On their way back from Tsunami's, they were met with another crowd who showered Naruto with more praise. Among the group, there was a strange man who slipped him a key to this very hotel and said it was free of charge for a hero. One girl offered to be my girlfriend. I don't know how to handle this. Even after saving his village from pain, he wasn't sure how to accept the praise properly. Get used to it. Sasuke swiped the key from his hand and brushed past him. You are a hero to most of the world now. As she opened the door, Sasuke wondered if her brother would have received the same treatment from the village if things went differently. Hey, you are too. Naruto added. A ghost of a smile appeared on her face before she unlocked the door. They both entered the large room and Naruto reached for the light switch near the entrance. That's weird. I've never seen a bed shaped like that before. Sasuke glared at the illuminated room before her. Was this a joke? The entire room was covered in red velvet wallpaper and an expensive chandelier hung from the ceiling. Naruto calling out the bed confirmed her suspicions. It was heart-shaped and definitely meant for more than sleeping. Wow, I haven't seen that much alcohol in a long time. Naruto was amazed at the wide selection of drinks that were on a table in the middle of the room. When he traveled with Jiraiya, the old pervert definitely enjoyed his drinks. He did want to honor his mother's words about drinking, but he was really curious now. After fighting in a war and losing an arm, he felt he could drink a little. We are not staying in here. Sasuke looked towards her partner with poorly concealed embarrassment. Wouldn't it be rude not to accept the room? I mean, it was given to us for free. Naruto watched the girl shake her head negatively. We can get another. Let's just say something is wrong with this one. No way was she sleeping in a honeymoon suite. I dunno. These people are really nice. I don't want to come off as rude. Proper Hokage decorum states that a leader must always present themselves in a respectable way and do so with a smile. Also, he heard Sasuke clear her throat slightly. Naruto. Yeah, he huffed. I don't know why you're so concerned. It's just a bedroom. And you're just a fool. How could one man be so dense? I've been called worse. I know. Naruto chuckled before stepping further into the room, which made Sasuke sigh quietly. Whoa, there's even a huge bathroom, with a bunch of flower petals on the floor. Naruto raised a hand to his chin and surveyed the strange room. Sasuke stepped closer to the bed and her eyes caught sight of some colorful packages thrown about on the nightstand. Picking them up, she froze in place. Are these condoms? She hoped she'd never see the man who slipped Naruto that key again, for his sake. Sasuke, whatcha got there? At the sound of his voice, she jumped and put distance between them. Naruto looked bewildered at the action. Nothing. It's nothing. I need to shower. She practically flew into the bathroom while avoiding his eyes. Has Sasuke always been such a weirdo? Naruto spoke to himself. From within his seal, Kurama made a sound similar to coughing. Don't. Naruto whispered softly. I will never stop. Sasuke stood in front of a mirror with a small red towel around her body. Her reflection frowned back at her and dark eyes roamed over her pale skin. She stared for a few minutes at the location of her missing appendage. With the combination of Tsunade and Sakura's healing, the stump that was a remainder of her arm wasn't obscene or disgusting. To most people at least. She could never wield weapons the same way. She would never be able to practice shuriken jutsu similar to her brother. She wasn't even sure about wearing anything besides long-sleeved clothing or cloaks anymore. She never cared about what others thought regarding her appearance, besides one exception. However, the missing arm left her with an odd feeling in her chest. She'll never regret denying the Senju cell-infused arm that Naruto was fitted with. It was a reminder of her mistakes. I'll never get him to look at me like he did back then. Sasuke's frown deepened. The first time Naruto saw her after her defection to Orochimaru, he could hardly form words. She had her mind set on revenge back then, but she couldn't deny how pleased she felt when witnessing Naruto's reaction. She knew Naruto cared little about physical appearances. He childishly liked Sakura for years, who Sasuke considered inferior. He also didn't give Hinata any attention, at least to her knowledge and elation. She doubted they ever received the same wide eyes from him that he graced her with. Would you still look at me that way? Naruto. Turning away from her reflection, she figured there was no point in thinking about it. Picking out some fresh clothes for the evening, she dressed in her typical baggy outfit. With her hair still wet from her shower, she grabbed the knob of the bathroom door and opened it slowly. What the hell are you doing? Sasuke scanned over her teammate's form. He also changed into a loose white shirt and orange shorts. That wasn't the issue. No, it was the two empty bottles of alcohol at his side. Sasuke. He shouted at her with a dopey smile. Where were you? I was waiting for a while. I think. Naruto pointed at a clock on the wall. Sasuke followed his drunken movements and widened her eyes. A whole hour and a half passed. No way. I was in there for that long. Okay. Maybe she got a little distracted by the fancy bathroom. Her eyes locked onto hazy blues. You decided to get drunk while waiting. She accused him with a hand on her hip. Hey, I never drank this stuff before. Kurama challenged me, you know. Said something about Uchiha. Wait, that's not right. Naruto laughed to himself, proving that he was indeed under the influence of alcohol. Sasuke eyed the bottles curiously. She never drank either. There were certainly opportunities in the past, but she didn't care to try. Yo, Sasuke, come have some. Naruto patted at his side. Curiosity killed the Uchiha as she moved over to him. She was surprised that a Jinchuriki was able to get intoxicated so easily. He did finish 2 bottles by himself though. She had to give him some credit. I've been drinking it from the bottle. Naruto missed the dead stare Sasuke gave him. But I think we can put it in these little cups and drink it like that. Naruto pushed 2 shot glasses forward. You're very drunk, Naruto. Sasuke smelled the alcohol on his breath due to their close proximity. Shish. He shushed her quickly. Look, I'll pour some. Sasuke chuckled when he completely missed the glass and poured it onto the expensive table. Hey, the hell are you laughing at? Naruto's face was flushed as he leaned towards her. You're the world's biggest loser. She jabbed a finger at his chest and he recoiled back. Here, you do it then. He handed her the clear bottle and she scrunched her nose up at the strong scent. Hopefully it tasted better than it smelled. Pouring a decent amount into the tiny glass, she did the same for Naruto. Picking it up with ease, she turned to him with an eyebrow raised. Do I just drink it now or? Sasuke wasn't too sure either. I think Pervy Sage did this before, or was it the other thing with the girl? Just hit the glasses together and we drink. Naruto had some trouble holding the glass and his slurred words weren't helping. Okay. Tapping her glass against his, she raised it to her lips. She dipped her tongue into the liquid and was going to turn it down due to the taste. Done. Naruto put his glass down and gave her a big dumb smile. Quote. Never one to be outdone, especially by Naruto, she downed the alcohol. She coughed at the intense flavor. It was certainly different. Kurama said that there's no way you can drink more than me. Naruto teased her after hearing his partner taunt the Uchiha from his seal. Big talk from a locked-up fox. Her Sharingan activated in an instant. Wanna do it again? He gestured clumsily to the bottle. As if I'd lose to you. Sasuke poured 2 more shots and they pressed their glasses to each other. They continued going back and forth for some time, completely unaware of their limits already being reached. Sasuke felt her entire body heat up from the drink. It was similar to how she would feel when her chakra was being built up for a devastating fire-style jutsu. Naruto leaned his head against the table and groaned loudly. Another empty bottle was placed at his side. I feel like, my head is spinning. Like, a Rasengan. He had to put in considerable effort to look at Sasuke. What are you looking at, Sasuke? Is it hot in here? It's hot. She felt her own breathing becoming heavier. It might not have been the best idea to wear heavier clothes now. The alcohol flowing through her system made the clothes feel uncomfortable. Kurama says, it's room temperature. Ha ha, ha ha ha. Naruto started laughing loudly at the awful joke. Kushina would not be pleased if she could see her son in his current state. Sasuke grabbed at the hem of her long-sleeved shirt and quickly pulled it over her head. She let out a sigh of relief as the cool air hit her sleeveless black undershirt. Wow. Naruto stared at her in amazement. Sasuke felt panic fill her. It was foolish, and if she were sober she would know that. Naruto's seen her missing arm in the past. They bled out next to each other for hours. Still you should do that more often. Naruto almost quietly spoke. Have less clothes, you idiot. She attempted to glare at him, but she could barely look straight. Your arm. You don't need to hide that, Sasuke. He began to raise both his voice and his own arm. This isn't even mine. Well, kind of. I don't know really. All that medical stuff is hard. His drunken talk continued. My missing arm is ugly. You don't want to see that. She admitted to him. Ha. Naruto picked his head up quickly. You're the prettiest girl I know. No way are you ugly. He wasn't sure why her Sharingan was active, but he didn't really care. Really? Her simple question earned a round of head nods from Naruto. Duh. It's like if you were the biggest bowl of miso ramen and everybody else is just tiny versions of it. Get it? Sasuke grinned. She grinned hard. Soon after, a drunken and stupid laugh escaped her lips that made Naruto join in. Why did you call me ramen? She managed to ask him. Words were hard for her right now. Well, I love ramen so. Naruto shrugged happily and reached for more alcohol. He failed. Sasuke sat stunned at his words. Though the room may be spinning, her ears were working. Love. What the hell was he saying? Oh, remember how I wasn't talking this morning? Naruto paused and Sasuke was hardly paying any attention now.